Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the business meeting. We do have a quorum, so I'm going to ask that everyone please now rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the approval of the February 27th meeting minutes, please?
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
Yes, email correspondence was received from Emily Morales.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have no comments for the first session. I'll turn this over to Dr. LaRocca for her report on the superintendent.
Thank you, President Oliveri. Tonight, we are going to have the principals talk about their annual goals and their work. So at this time, I would like to invite up Mr. Gruen, Mr. Hoplowski, Dr. Pete Butcher, and Mrs. Gervasi.
Good evening. So I'd first like to thank the members of the Board of Education, Dr. LaRocca, for this opportunity to present our work this year. Tonight we will be presenting about our work with the 4 disciplines of execution, or what we confirm as the 4DX model. Last year, the administrative team participated in professional development regarding the 4 disciplines of execution, and we provided a presentation of our work regarding our professional development, as well as the goal that we had set. Tonight, the Valley Stream District 13 principals will share our mid-year presentation focusing on how our work last year has now evolved this year and has spread and transitioned to our faculty and staff. And we are really proud of the results and the progress that you'll see this evening. Just as a quick refresher, the 4DX model, as you see listed above, is all about speaking about enacting change. It is the most efficient model in order to enact change in a very fast way that is sustainable. In order to enact, we follow the process of setting a wildly important goal, what they call a WIG. Once you establish this goal, you need to create lead measures. The lead measures are what you're going to actually change in your daily behavior. Following that, you need to keep a compelling scoreboard in order to sustain the work that you're doing, and then have that credence of accountability. So we shared this scoreboard last year, not only with each other, but with the entire administrative team, and then eventually with you as the Board of Education and the public at the April board meeting. So in order to understand the 4DX model, we participated last year in professional development with Gary McGooey. This professional development we did as an entire administrative team. We focused our work on discussions about the vision of the district, the goals, and the state of the district that we were at. We utilized the data from the Fountas and Pinnell benchmark assessment. And in order to do that, we recognized the fact that our wildly important goal needed to be focused around literacy and reading instruction. In support of our wildly important goal last year, the principals set 2 lead measures, and these lead measures were our change. That's what we were going to do to ensure that we were instructional leaders in our building and keep focused throughout the year, regardless of everything else that was taking place, in order to help and support us reach our wildly important goal, which was to help our students become better readers and actually begin to read at or above grade level for all grades. This slide we actually showcased last year. It was how we concluded our presentation, and it was the next steps in our journey. I show this slide tonight because we, as an administrative team, held true to our word. We continued the exact work that we said we were going to continue last year into this year, which was we turnkeyed the staff development that we received. We also invited Gary Bowie back in to provide professional development to our staff, which you'll hear more about later in the presentation. And we provided an opportunity for all of our teachers and faculty to create their own lead measures this year around our wildly important goal. As you can see, we concluded our presentation by sharing that, and it is still our hope, that next year in the 2024-25 school year, that we will have our students create their own lead measures in the classroom. Just to break down the terminology of a wildly important goal and lead measure, the simplest way I like to always think of it, and this was shared with us as well during our professional development, is in order to create a weight, you first have to figure out exactly what you'd like to change, what is most important to you. So for example, in my life right now, if I'd like to lose 20 pounds between now and the summertime, it's setting a high bar there, but I'm going to shoot for it. That is my X to Y by when. So I'd like to lose 20 pounds by July 1. That is my goal. That is my wig. And in order to get there, I have to figure out how I'm going to change something in my behavior. So my lead measures would be going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, eating at a caloric deficit, and that would be my lead measures. And hopefully that would help me achieve that goal. Our focus this year and last year, and what we look for, is we needed to enact a change in our reading instruction, enact a change in our classroom, and enact a change in our daily behaviors as principals in order to change the progress that the students are making. If we want different results, we knew that we had to change something that we were doing and change something in our instructional program. So tonight you're going to hear more about it from my colleagues, about exactly some of the changes that we made, and you'll be able to see some of the results that we've already gleaned from these changes.
Our WIG for this year was refined based upon all of our work last year. We bifurcated our goal to include one measure to ensure all of our children who are reading on or above grade level continue to make steady progress by growing at least 2 levels. We then separated out the children who are reading below grade level, and we set an even more aggressive goal for them to make 3 levels of progress or accelerated growth in order to break the cycle of students beginning the school year below grade level and ending below grade level. Also, as part of our work, we made sure to include a provision for the students who are ultimately assessed and who do not take the F&P.
Our lead measures revolve around regular instructional check-ins with both our dedicated staff and our students. These check-ins occur 3 times a week, lasting 10 to 15 minutes each, and are specifically tailored to enhance reading instruction and progress monitoring. For our staff, these check-ins are structured sessions focused on reviewing instructional plans and tracking progress based on reading data. By engaging in these targeted discussions, our educators can fine-tune their approaches, address challenge promptly, and amplify student learning. Similarly, our check-ins with students follow the same frequency and duration, but with a distinct focus on fostering their reading skill habits. Through thoughtful inquiries like, what are you working on, and how is it helping you become a better reader, we empower students to reflect on their learning journey, set goals, and receive timely support. Throughout the previous academic year, we successfully executed these lead measures, resulting in approximately 250 individual conversations with both teachers and students regarding reading instruction. These conversations served as pivotal moments for collaboration, feedback exchange, and targeted intervention, ultimately contributing to enhanced student literacy outcomes and instructional effectiveness. Our commitment to the principles of the 4 disciplines of execution was kick-started with our opening day professional development session featuring an enlightening keynote address by Gary McGeary. Gary's expertise reintroduced the foundational concepts of the 4 disciplines to our staff, igniting a collective understanding and enthusiasm for driving measurable results in our educational endeavors. Building upon this foundation, Gary facilitated 2 check-in sessions, strategically in November and in February. These sessions served as crucial touch points for our staff, providing opportunities to recalibrate their strategies, share successes, and troubleshoot any challenges they encountered in implementing those lead measures. Furthermore, recognizing the importance of continuous support and refinement, we integrated discussions surrounding lead measure writing into our regular faculty meetings. These discussions fostered a collaborative environment where teachers could exchange insights, refine their approaches, and collectively leverage best practices in pursuit of our shared goals. Empowering our educators to take ownership of their professional development and student outcomes. This is an example of 2 teacher-generated exemplary lead measures at the intermediate teacher level, and there's a scoreboard as well. The first one, reciprocal teaching activity once per week. Teachers committed to implementing a reciprocal teaching activity at least once per week. This structured approach encourages students to actively engage with text through predicting, questioning, clarifying, and summarizing foster deeper comprehension skills. And the second lead measure, meeting in groups with level readers, utilizing level readers 3 times a week. Leveraging the Wonders reading program, the 10-day cycle, teachers met with small groups using level readers 3 times per week. This targeted intervention allows for differentiated instruction tailored to students' reading levels, promoting skill development and confidence. In tandem with the establishment of these lead measures, teachers collaboratively design scoreboards to visually track progress and foster a culture of accountability and excellence. These scoreboards serve as tools for monitoring individual and collective efforts, celebrating achievements, and identifying areas for refinement. Through the implementation of teacher-generated lead measures and corresponding scoreboards, we have witnessed a tangible shift in instructional practices and with student engagement.
This year, one of the biggest changes that we've experienced is that all of our teachers, not just classroom teachers, and teachers regardless of the content that they teach, are responsible for creating and implementing a lead measure that supports our overall wildly important goal. Collegiality amongst all of our staff in knowing that we are all in this together is evidenced as we learn and succeed together. Some of our support staff lead measures, as well as some of our special area teachers, more readily align themselves with the literacy goals that make up our wildly important goal. Many of our support staff typically work with our neediest population, excuse me, and are responsible for meeting IEP-driven goals with regard to literacy, as well as our district-wide WIG. As can be seen with the speech lead measure listed, answering comprehension questions such as WH questions can be used to enhance to meet our wildly important goal of making 2 to 3 levels of progress or meeting 3 literacy goals, typically as indicated on the student's IEP. For anybody who's wondering what is a WH question, where, what, why, things like that. After learning the foundations of numeracy, students are then expected to be able to apply their skills to solving problems which are typically presented as word problems. So as you see our math AIS lead measure. Reading and writing in the content area of math has become an integral part of mathematics discussions and conversations across the grade levels. Just go into a first grade class and listen to the students explain their thinking and how they went about solving the problem. Believe me, you would be impressed. Our phys ed teachers have each written lead measures in an effort to extend their fitness and skills-based lessons to include aspects of literacy that are not typically embedded within their instructional practices. The use of content area reading and conferring with students provides greater opportunities to focus on literacy throughout the day. Additionally, our music and art classes use purposeful planning to include literacy skills and integrate core vocabulary into their weekly instructional repertoire. The work of our library media specialists easily lends itself to supporting and ultimately meeting our wildly important goals, as the library is the hub of literacy in all of our school buildings. Reading, writing, and research opportunities extend the work of our classroom teachers and reinforces literacy on the basis, as the basis for elementary school instruction in all of our content areas.
Our primary teachers have written lead measures to support the foundational early literacy skills that lead to future reading success. Across all 4 buildings, language development was at the forefront of all primary lead measures. Pre-K teachers are meeting with small groups of students focusing on building language skills. Language skills play a vital role in academic achievement and supporting reading and writing acquisition. Developing these language skills also help our students to interact with each other and develop social abilities. While an example of a first grade lead measure also demonstrates the importance of language development while building literacy skills. Read Aloud support all areas of literacy development, modeling fluent reading, exposing readers to new words and grammar, increasing students' interest in reading and writing, and expanding phonological awareness skills. So these charts show our winter data check-in. This data is from the January administration of the F&P, which provides us some information about progress towards our wildly important goal, as well as targeted meetings to be held with teachers and support staff to ensure our instructional plans are aligned with the children that are making the least amount of progress. At faculty meetings, we have and continue to discuss student progress and specific strategies that they are utilizing to support the children in order to help them make accelerated progress. Chart 1 correlates with our first lead measure for students who began the school year reading at or above grade level. So you'll see that 83% of our students are on the path to meeting their goal, with 31% of those students already meeting the goal. Chart 2 shows the number, correlates to our second lead measure, which is our children who are reading below grade level. 88% of our students are on the path to meeting their goal, with 30% of those students having already met the goal. So next steps. We are going to review and reflect at our end-of-year data meetings that will take place after the May administration of the Fontes and Pinnell. We'll discuss what worked well and what we can improve upon. For the 2024-2025 school year, we will continue with the lead measures for building principals, teachers, and we will introduce student lead measures. Developing these lead measures will help our students find their voice in their classroom while taking accountability for their learning. As always, it's our belief that we need to meet our children where they are in order to enact change that will improve student outcomes. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions?
I have
Trustee
questions.
Jacinski?
Can you walk me through how these measures are done with ENL students?
So basically building-based lead measures, most of our ENL teachers, when we looked at their lead measures for this year, integrated their work with, because they do a lot of their work on a push-in basis in the classroom. So they did their lead measures that ran in tandem with the classroom teachers' lead measures. And again, when we go back to a slide such as this, it's not about the work that they've been doing for years, which our E&L teachers have been doing outstanding work with our students. It's more about them putting something in place that they feel they're going to change in their current instruction that they haven't tried before, that they feel will get them better results when it comes to just specifically reading instruction, literacy, reading comprehension. So when we looked at our E&L teachers, I would say most of our lead measures typically went with a primary grade class and spoke about how they're going to utilize the program in the classroom as their basis point to keep making a change in their program. So I would say in my building, Paula Barnick and Susanna Souza used part of the Wonders program itself and meeting with small literacy groups as their lead measure, and it was them holding themselves accountable to meet with those groups on a frequency basis of 3 to 4 times a week in order to achieve that goal. It wasn't saying that it wasn't happening before in the past, but it wasn't happening on a consistent basis.
So the numbers that you provided us, does that include that population and includes also special needs population?
100%.
Yes.
So the numbers you see up here are every child in our district that is tested using the Fonda-Sempanel assessment. The only numbers that are not included here are the students who are alternately assessed. And it is such a small population of numbers that it's data that we do share with the superintendent at the end of our school year when we get the spring administration, but it's not something that we would measure in a short time frame to alternately assess students for the winter. So, but the numbers you see up here include every student from our general education, special education, E&L population, and all of our reader assessments, all built into the same chart. We want to show you a broad-based number, because that's the number we have to look at as well. It's every child. The goal here is getting every child to read on grade level or above, and to keep that progress throughout the year.
And many of the students that are in small special classes, that, as you saw down on the bottom, that are assessed using FEP will meet at least 3 literacy goals. And based upon last year's number, the fact is that the vast majority, if not all of them, met 3 of their literacy goals. Typically, as indicated on their IEP.
I do have one more question. When we're talking about this assessment for 6th graders and they're moving on to high school, how are we sharing that information, or what do we have in place to take that information to share with the high school so the high school knows whether or not that person is at that level?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's something that the principals can all speak of really intelligently. But just to share my quick, we hold articulation meetings between our 6th grade teachers, the entire instructional support team, and the junior high school or high school district. And usually around the January, February mark in each of the buildings. We also, that doesn't include all the data that we do share with them as well, but we hold personal meetings where the teachers sit and they talk about every student individually as a learner. They discuss their challenges that they have, as well as some of the great things that make them a student, and they also review data at those meetings as well. So those individual articulation meetings, speaking firsthand as a 6th grade teacher that I was in the district for many years, it's pivotal in making sure that there's not only a smooth transition, but that the high school understands who the child is as a learner, right? And they're not just, not to try to subject, but not just the FEP number or the state assessment score.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, principals. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Baraka. Let's have the Education Committee, Vice President Cavallari.
I move items 1 through 10 as a consent agenda.
Second. Moved and seconded. On the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Just want to also state that the Education Committee met last Tuesday. We had nice talk about the future of our curriculum and some other special curriculum activities that might be going on in the near future.
Thank you.
That concludes the presentation.
Business Committee, Trustee Farrell.
Good evening. I move items G 1 to 6 as a consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda carries unanimously.
And that concludes the business committee meeting tonight.
Thank you, Trustee Farrell. Policy Committee, Trustee Vicente.
Good evening, everyone. At this moment, the policy committee does not have any policies for first or second reading. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Facilities Committee, Vice President Cavalieri.
Facilities Committee met this evening to continue our conversation about security in our facilities.
Thank you.
That concludes the Facilities Committee.
Keep it going, Committee of the Whole.
Committee of the Whole. I move item 1, BOCES approved administrative budget 2024-2025. Whereas the Board of Cooperation and Education Service in Nassau County BOCES has proposed and presented its proposed administration operation budget for the 2024-2025 school year, July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Nassau BOCES proposed administration operations budget for the 2024-2025 school year in the amount of $27,131,170 be and hereby is approved by this board.
Second.
Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Item 2, election of the board members, the Nassau BOCES Boards of Education.
Yes.
So,
Everybody has their ballot. District clerk will collect them. While we wait for the district clerk to tally the votes, I would like to go back to number 1 on the business committee agenda and welcome Mr. Ruiz as our part of our new custodial staff. Thank you for coming tonight and thank you for joining the team here.
Marion?
Oh, no. So now what do we do?
Yeah?
We have a tie.
Time, really?
Yeah. Why does it have to happen when the attorney's not here? This is your Yeah.
So then take another vote. That's it.
You double checked? You triple checked? Thank you. The tie.
Into the music. Apologize for the delay. It seems to be, we have a tie and we don't know how to handle it. And, attorney's not here, so we're gonna try to contact our attorney.
Isn't it just the top three?
There's a tie for third place. There's a tie. We got two. We don't have a third.
There's 6 of us, yeah.
That's what happens when one trustee.
So why don't we,
I don't know. We're not gonna change that.
yeah.
Or again, we have to change. See if we get another time. Just keep voting until final.
Can't we move on? Wait a minute,
Oh,
hold on.
clerical error?
Let me just recap it one more time.
No.
We still have a tie.
Thank you for checking.
This is
Thank you for checking. Okay. I think we could go out of order for a minute.
All right. Can I go on time? All right, we're gonna put a pause on item
Pause,
2.
item number 2.
We're gonna go to item 3. Approval of corrective action plan. In accordance to the Section 35 General Municipal Law, the Board of Education hereby approves a written response and corrective action plan in response to the report of examination dated February 16, 2024, performed by the Office of State Controller, and directs such written response and corrective action plan be filed in the Office of the District Clerk as a public record for inspection by all interested persons.
Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I move items 1 through 4 in section K as a consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Now we're still stuck on item 2.
We are, but we're gonna get an answer on that any minute. There will be no report of the attorney this evening. How about high school report? You do?
I do, well, Leslie typed and everything. Good evening, everyone. The Valley Stream Central High School District held its 66th Annual Music Scholarship Festival on April 4th. This year's festival included a special twist. For the first time ever, this long-running tradition was held at Carnegie Hall. One of the most prestigious stages in the world played host to members of our orchestra, chorus, band, and performing arts group. I know a few of the members went. Would you like to speak on it? President, please.
It was an amazing experience. Our students did a phenomenal job. I have to say, the anxiousness of getting to that day was met with great anticipation and great joy seeing these students. I mean, they did such a fabulous job. And I have to tell you that when I got on the stage and just looking from the stage out to the audience, for me personally, and I wasn't even, playing, it was amazing. It was, I can't even describe it because the feeling was overwhelming. to see that, the stadium, the auditorium, and to see how filled the audience was with joy. I mean, it was just exceptional, and I want to thank my colleagues on the board for supporting that vision, our superintendent and Dr. Ordos for making that vision happen, and everybody who was involved. It was a success.
Thank you. Valley Stream Central High School student and class of 2024 valedictorian, Karina Ramnath earned the prestigious SUNY Stony Brook Simmons STEM Scholar Program Scholarship. With this scholarship, Karina will receive a full ride to the university, including room and board and funding for her to attend medical school. Karina was among thousands of students who applied for this program and one of only 50 to be selected. She will spend her academic career at Stony Brook, working and living alongside other recipients of this scholarship with a broad support system of advisors and counselors to help them along the way. The program aims to create the next generation of top scientists and doctors. Congratulations, Karina. At North High School, Valley Stream North High School recently hosted the Save a Life Tour, a powerful lesson about the dangers of distracted and impaired driving. The program utilized virtual reality simulators to demonstrate how difficult it is to drive while distracted or impaired. More than 200 North juniors and seniors signed up to take part, which was hosted by the school's Students Against Destructive Decisions, or otherwise known as the SAD Club. Students put on virtual reality headsets, sat in driving simulators, and attempted to drive under a series of challenging scenarios. The scenarios included simulations on what it would be like to drive while under the influence of alcohol and drug use, as well as others where students were tasked with driving while texting or contending with a distracting passenger activity. Save a Life Tour representatives also gave presentations demonstrating some of the deadly accidents that can occur when driving distracted or impaired. As someone who drives on the Southern State every day, I can tell you that a lot more people need this, and that should really be something that is mandatory in all schools. One of our South High School orchestra student musicians, Matthew Prasad, played piano in front of a packed audience at Carnegie Hall on February 24th. This special experience was organized through the New York Musicians Center for its annual Winter Spectacular concert. In addition to playing for the New York Musicians Center, Matthew, who is in 8th grade, is a star piano player in South's orchestra. He also recently performed at the New York State School Music Association Piano Festival at Nassau Community College and the Long Island String Festival. Sounds like he'll be going to Carnegie Hall Central High School District soon. And that concludes my high school report.
Thank you, Trustee Farrell. Okay, back to the business committee. I'm sorry, the committee of the whole, item number 2. Can I have the tally, please? Well, we have two options. We either only put votes in for the 2 candidates where there was a majority of the vote, or someone can make a motion for a recount.
No.
Reconsider. Just between candidates number 2 and 3 on your ballot. Which I will give out your ballots if someone wants to make that motion. If not, we will just go forward with the 2 that we have majority votes for.
Make a motion for recount.
Not recount, reconsider.
Reconsider.
So is anybody willing to change their vote?
Right, is anybody willing to change their vote is basically, if nobody's willing to, then,
Unless you want to do it, because see who, if anybody.
I personally am not changing my vote.
Okay, so send in the top two, and I guess that's
Okay.
the only option.
So we will do the two. Okay. Here is your resolution, Vice President Cavallari.
Results we've been all waiting for. I move, this is item 2.
Item 2.
Two Nassau BOCES board seats must be voted upon.
Well, 3 are being voted on.
3 be voted on. 3 full-term seats will expire in June 30, 2024. Each board may cast 1 vote for each vacancy to be filled, a total of 3 votes. Resolution to authorize the district clerk to complete the ballot and a collector's certificate indicating to whom the Valley Stream District Board of Education has casted votes, namely Suzanne Ergetum and Michael Wender.
You've got close.
So we just bring it up to. Okay?
Second.
Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Marianne, you have your instructions. Oh. Yeah, it's what you're thinking. Any old business before the board this evening? Did we do? We did it. You were away, yeah. Stop confusing me. It's okay. Any new business before the board? Okay. We have some visitors that would like to speak this evening. Marianne, you ready with your call? You'll have 3 minutes for your comments. I would like to invite Ms. Here we go again. Ula Carvel. I think I got it. I finally got it.
Yes, sorry.
Please come discuss Wheeler Avenue Playground and class size, please.
First, I would like to thank, is this on?
Doesn't sound it. There you go.
First, I would like to thank the board again and Dr. LaRocca for the exceptional pre-K program. It is one of the best on Long Island, and I would not be surprised it was one of the best in the nation. Thank you so much. However, 2 important aspects that play a significant role in the overall well-being and development of our children, class sizes and daily access to playgrounds, are lacking at Wheeler Avenue School. It feels like we're overcrowded compared to other schools in the district. Small class sizes have a profound impact on the quality of education and the overall well-being of students. When class sizes are smaller, teachers can provide more individualized attention to each child. Daily access to playgrounds is essential for children's physical health and overall well-being. At Wheeler, my daughter has had very limited access to the playground this year. I was even called today by the school nurse because my daughter was having problems breathing because she had been running on a dusty field without any shade. I took her to the doctor this afternoon after the nurse told me to have her checked, and thankfully she is completely fine. Playgrounds offer children the opportunity to engage in a safe, physical activity, which is vital for their growth and development and improves their motor skills, coordination, and strength. I appreciate your attention to these important matters and hope we can work together to create the best possible educational experience for all the district students. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I have another one. Chris was texting me back and I told him I didn't. Sorry. I would like to invite Jessica Ramirez to come up and discuss Wheeler classroom sizes. Also, could you please see me after the meeting? Okay. Not a big deal. I got a text message from the bank and I don't know why I'm still on the account from a 6th grade committee from 2 years ago. So I wanted to talk to you about it and get that message through.
Okay. Is this on? It's on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening. I'm here to express my concern regarding the inequitable class sizes at Wheeler compared to some of the other schools within the district. Currently, we have about 620 students in total, and the class sizes are growing.
Kindergarten only has 3 classrooms, and I don't know where another one would fit if we needed to make a 4th. Every inch of the school is being used as an extra classroom space, whether it's for reading, math, speech, or just any extra help that the students need. Auditorium storage closets have been converted into classroom space, and this is unacceptable. Our playground space is limited, and as it is this year, we had issues with getting our kids onto the playground. If it wasn't that the playground structure was damaged in September, it was the lack of aides to supervise these children. This is also unacceptable. Every other school in the district has more than 1 playground. Us being the largest school, I think we need more space. We're limited to our space indoor and outdoors, and I just feel like we don't know what to do. We're trying to come up with solutions. I know I've spoken to Dr. LaRocca. She's told me to address it with Dr. Pete Butcher, which I believe our principal is doing an excellent job. She needs more help. She needs an assistant principal. I think we need a second nurse on our staff. Our parents are upset, and rightfully so. Our classrooms right now, we have about 4 classrooms per grade, and I hear that 3rd grade is going to lose a classroom, and it's not going to be allocated to another grade. We're not going to be putting that for, kindergarten or 4th or 5th. I just think that our board needs to look at the numbers and see what we can do. Maybe we need to rezone. I know it was something that was discussed years ago. We've heard from other parents. I know it's a lot of work, but I think it needs to be done. We have 620 students right now, and we don't have pre-K there, right? And I know, Mr. Bonelli, you've been going around saying that we can fit more students. I'm not sure where. So please, just look at the numbers right now, look at our school, and see where our kids fit. It's not fair to our kids, and the parents are upset. So I just want you to know, our parents, we want to work with you guys, but we need you guys to be fair with all of our schools, not just with the 2 that have 350 students. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, we are, let's see, we're on the last page, and we just need a motion to adjourn at this point.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Moved and seconded on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming this evening. Hope to see you again next month.